Peace and blessings, family. Sam PK Collins in the space. I'm making this video as a follow up to a Twitter post that I made yesterday, a day after the White House Correspondents Dinner. Um, it was a reflection that I had actually in response to a question that my loved one asked me about the trajectory of my career and what I thought about people who occupy those spaces and the space in general that is the White House Correspondents Dinner. In short, what I told her was that, such spaces are not for journalists who are serious about writing information that is accurate and of great benefit to the masses of African people. And in making that assessment, I was just reflecting on my experiences as a White House press pool intern at one point, and as somebody who, since leaving that space, has been immersed in the local DC community, writing about issues that are of significance to people of African descent, writing locally but with a global African consciousness. And when you are in spaces like that, that is not beneficial to who we are as journalists because, first of all, you are in the same space as the leaders of the empire and you are consorting with them, you are joking around with them about the very issues that they're failing on, and you are carrying on as if you are friends when in fact you are not friends with them. We are not friends with these people. These people, they run the government with the backing of financiers and oligarchs and other forces that are taking money away from us and are creating systems that are holding a great mass of us down in the trenches. These are not our friends. These are people who we need to hold accountable. And if the only time they let you in is when they want to joke around, those are not people who you should trust. And the White House Correspondents Dinner is an example of situations when the oligarchs, the empire runners, and those people in general just want to create a class, a celebrity class. It's nothing but celebritization, and it is nothing where anything serious gets done, because by the end of the day, the things that we are supposed to write about as journalists is anything but play. The goal is to write about real life experiences and provide enough historical, cultural, and socio-economic context that allows people to understand that individual stories are not just individual stories. They are happening in real time and are indicative of greater forces that are at play. Any article that you write as a journalist is an opportunity to educate and connect people with the truth. And if that was really the case for the journalists who are at the White House Correspondents Dinner, then they wouldn't be there in the very first place. Because when you are consorting with the empire, you are not telling the truth to the people. You are more concerned about being liked. And when you are more concerned about being liked, you don't ask the hard questions. You don't hold people to their word. You don't hold them accountable. And as a matter of fact, you are just there to be in proximity to power and not to challenge it. And that is exactly what has happened, you know, especially since black reporters have been allowed to go within the legacy white newspapers. That is exactly what has happened. When the black press was founded, it was founded on the legacy of bringing truth to power and representing the masses of black people who were at one point in time enslaved and treated like chattel. You understand? And now that we had this consumer rights movement, also known as the civil rights movement, and people are allowed to integrate and to enter spaces and become the first black this and the first black that, we have forgotten about our legacy, and we have been beholden to the powers that want to keep us close but don't want to give us authentic information, and we have forgotten about where the battle lines have been drawn and need to be continued to be drawn. That is the battle that we have right now as African people. And to the journalists who want to continue being in those spaces, to them I have nothing to say, because by the end of the day, you do what you want and I do what I want. There's no love lost, no opposition, no us versus them. But as a journalist with a certain mindset, I have to set the tone for what I understand to be our true calling as the griots, the modern day griots of this society. It is to hold these people's feet to the fire and to tell truth. That is the honest to tell truth as it needs to be articulated by people of African descent, and anything that holds the values of the empire in high